That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Black Adam, the 10th film directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, the DC property, opening courtesy of Warner Brothers, of course, October 21st, 2022.
You said 10th film?
Yeah.
Do I know any of this person's other films?
Well, we reviewed his last film, Jungle Cruise, also starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. I'm a fan of Orphan, which I think you liked.
Oh.
You also liked The Shallows, the Blake Lively shark film.
Oh.
He cut his teeth. His debut was a remake of the horror film House of Wax with Paris Hilton. And he's done 4 Liam Neeson films, none of which I like.
No need to name them. Okay, well, I mean, this movie is exactly what I thought it would be. Like all the superhero movies where we get the character for the first time. It's like we get the backstory of the protagonist, and then we develop the villain, and then it looks like the villain's going to take over, but then at the last minute, the hero comes in.
In this case, kind of an anti-hero.
And then Black Adam's kind of an anti-hero, but all is saved in the end, and then there's a post-credit scene where we get the introduction of a character who wasn't in the movie. Mm-hmm. So Black Adam, who is not even called Black Adam until the post-credit scene, is really called Teth-Adam, and Teth.
Yeah, which is the first letter in the word for purity in Hebrew.
Oh, played by Dwayne Johnson. Mm-hmm. So the backstory for this character is that there's this place called Kahndaq, and like 5,000 years ago, there was a king who enslaved all of his people to have them mine for some precious material called Eternium, which could be used in a crown, and that crown would summon like all the evil powers of the universe. So the opening is all of these enslaved people looking for this Eternium. Someone finds it, that person ends up getting killed, and there's a little boy who tries to like stand up. Okay, I got cut off. The little boy. Okay, so this little boy gets everyone to revolt, and in the process, he gets killed. But right as he's about to get killed, he gets taken to like some magical world with a bunch of wizards.
The Council of Wizards.
And they make him this superhero like Teth-Adam. But there's a gag. The gag is that little boy, who we all presume for the entire movie was Dwayne Johnson, is not. It was Dwayne Johnson's son. But so that boy was like a protector or a hero for his people, but the ruler wanted to get back at him, so he tries to kill the parents. So like he kills the mom, and then Teth-Adam, the son, gives his power to his dad, Dwayne Johnson. So really, the Dwayne Johnson Black Adam person we're seeing is not the original, and he is acting out of rage because then his son ends up getting killed. So his wife and son are killed. And then for 5,000 years, the people of Kahndaq have been telling this story that Black Adam was a hero who destroyed the king and is now sleeping, waiting for the day when they need him again. But that's not the truth. Black Adam, as Dwayne Johnson, the dad, killed the king out of rage and damn near destroyed all of Kahndaq. So the Wizard Council put him in prison. So when he's called to return, he's really been pulled out of prison. Mm-hmm. And the person who calls him out is this woman named Isis, who is like, I guess like an activist for the people.
I thought her name was Adrianna.
It's Adrianna?
That's what I thought.
Oh, well.
Not the Egyptian god.
Oh, I don't know why I wrote Isis down.
I don't know either.
But anyway, this mom, because she has a son named Amon, she is looking for this crown, because I thought the dumbest thing of this movie, well, there are a couple of things I thought didn't make sense, but the dumbest part, I think, is the crown, this evil crown that can summon the damn devil, is just sitting in this cave. Mm-hmm. And she easily walked into the cave and grabbed it. Mm-hmm. It's not protected by anything. Mm-mm. So of course, she wants to take the crown and like put it somewhere safe, which at first is like in her house and like inside of a VCR cassette player. Because if it gets to the wrong hands, the entire planet will be destroyed.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a villain who comes and gets it.
Ishmael, the last descendant of King Akton.
So she summons Black Adam because she has like a piece of something. She's wearing a necklace that has like some stones in it that summon Black Adam.
Well, she has to say Shazam.
The word Shazam will bring him back.
And if you want to get him to go away, you got to convince him to say that word.
But the reason she called him is not because of the crown, because we don't see someone get the crown till like the halfway point. She calls them because there's some like military group called Interconnect, or there's some entity played by like American people who are in Kahndaq, basically trying to control them. So she's trying to get these people out, and that's why she called Black Adam.
Yes.
Okay, but then there's like the Justice League.
The Justice Society of America, not the Justice League.
So it's like these 4 superheroes
that are brought together by Aldis Hodge's, what's his name?
Yeah,
Hawkman. Carter Hall.
It's him and 3 others who come, and they're trying to control Black Adam because they see that while he's kind of protecting the people, he's also hurting a lot of people. And of course, the heroes can never hurt people.
He's a murderer.
So half of the movie is them fighting. Until they finally come to agreement that he needs to stop. So Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson agrees, like, yeah.
Well, until they defeat their common enemy.
So he says Shazam, and like his powers are removed, and they bury him in like an underwater tomb with this lady.
Amanda Waller's Task Force X. Well, she's acting on behalf of Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, who...
But the movie's 2 hours, and this happens like at the hour 20 mark. So of course we know something's going to happen. So it's after Dwayne Johnson is asleep underwater that the evil guy
Ishmael
gets the crown, and now he's this demon Sabbac.
Sabbac is the name of the crown.
Oh, name of the crown. So now like the devil is on Earth and is tearing everything up. So Pierce Brosnan plays Dr. Fate, and he can kind of see the future and can kind of talk to ghosts. I don't know, but he convinces Dwayne Johnson underwater to say Shazam. He does, comes back, kills the devil, the end.
And he's killed. Dr. Fate is killed.
And in the process, Dr. Fate is killed. But Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam agrees, like, yeah, I'm just going to stay put in Kahndaq, and I'll just be a protector of the people. I don't want to be like a hero. So he's like an anti-hero. The end. But in the post-credit scene, Viola Davis plays like, she's like that person in charge of all of the superheroes.
Amanda Waller, who I referenced already.
Oh, no, who was the white lady underwater?
She was acting for her.
Oh, I thought that was, okay, whatever. Anyway, Viola tells Black Adam, like, if you step 1 foot out of Kahndaq, it's going to be a problem. He goes, I'm not worried about you. No one on Earth can stop me. And Viola says, oh, I got friends who aren't from this planet. And then Henry Cavill as Superman pops up. And basically is like, what's up?
We should talk.
The end. I guess for this kind of movie, I enjoyed it more than others.
I think The Rock is compelling screen presence, even in Drek. So, you know.
So I think to start with the positive, Dwayne Johnson is so likable on screen. In every movie I see him in, even when it's crap, I really like him.
Yeah.
And I don't think this movie is crap, but the story's ridiculous, but
this story's caca.
But he is so watchable as this, like, because he's kind of, it doesn't make sense that because he doesn't know modern things because he's been asleep for 5,000 years, but then he talks like he's hip to the game. But still, even with that stupidity, he's very likable. He's kind of like angry and sarcastic.
Well, they drive the notion of him needing a catchphrase really hard, which is where we finally get Black Adam, because the kid, Amon's like, you're like the man in black, because we're referencing Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name continually. But it ends up feeling a bit like Terminator 2.
So, yeah, so I think Dwayne Johnson's a positive, and I think the movie looks really good. It looks expensive. I really like how it was shot.
Sure.
The action sequences are exactly what you would expect.
Just
so good.
But one, stapled right on top of the other continually into.
But for people who like these kind of movies, I mean, it's enjoyable. It definitely went by quickly.
It's also a little shorter than usual because I think it's like 2 hours and 4 minutes or something.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
I don't mind
This
that.
is something that if I watched on an airplane, this would be something I would choose and be happy with.
But Black Adam, the origin story feels like superhero Moses.
It's a lot in this universe of all these other characters.
Well, and then, it just the details about this crown, a sabacc made of eternium. Like, if you have a problem with unobtainium, you have to have a problem with how stupid eternium is.
Oh, I was also confused. It seems like that material, eternium, hurts him. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yes, and
so it's kind of like kryptonite?
Yes.
Okay.
Because somebody shoots him with that. I did like the sequence. Again, this is a trope of this universe where there's a slow motion. His first return is the slow motion shootout right in the desert, right, to the Rolling Stones' "Paint It Black."
I think every movie like this has that scene where there's like
Yes.
this classic popular rock song with like slow motion fighting, which looks amazing, and obviously a familiar song gets everyone worked up. But I feel like I've seen this like 20 times in a movie like this.
Yes,
it's
that's
just
a great
interesting
song.
that they're all these films are very similar. But can I start with how much I could not stand the character of the mom and her disobedient son?
Sarah
That
Shahi-
ruined the movie
Sarah
for me.
Shahi and Bodhi Sabongui. Yeah,
Oh, my
they are
God.
terrible. She is running around like Angelina Jolie in The Changeling screaming about my son.
My son, everything is about her son, and so couple that with how I hate that these every movie like this, the superhero ends up getting almost taken down because they're so worried about not hurting people. And it's like, this lady is crazy. She, at a point, they have the crown. So the Justice League or whatever are in their little jet, and they have the crown with her and her son on the plane. So it's safe. No one can get it. And she grabs it and says, no, I'm taking it because, no, she doesn't have her son. The bad guy has her son. So she takes the crown and says, no, I'm taking this crown because this is the only way I can get my son back.
Yeah.
And they let her have it.
And she gives it to them, and then she
When-
looks all shocked when he's doing evil things.
When I tell you, when that lady grabbed that crown, she would have been dust. You mean to tell me that this lady is going to take this crown that could conjure the devil and destroy all of humanity, and you're worried about your son who does not listen? The entire first half of the movie, he's running around on his skateboard doing exactly what she told him not to do.
Opening
And-
with Smashing Pumpkins, by the way, which...
And the leader of the Justice League or whatever, Hawkeye, he lets her take it like, okay,
Hawkman.
fine.
Yes, that... Well, and then the fact that, a character like the anti-hero doesn't decimate her and this child. I think what the film kind of drops the ball on is showing how much he's relating to her as a mother figure, and Amon is like a, kind of a version of himself as a child. But I think that gets lost very early on.
Yeah, I feel like Black Adam would have obliterated her.
Like you did. And she's like, no, you guys are going to work together till I get my kid. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
she's being like a mom who's like, you should... Oh, I hated her character. And the son, that poor kid, he could not act.
He could not act, and I think it's him providing the narration. It's so non-committal. And there's one scene, because they give him a cape as reward in the brief, respite that they have before the third act. And he's running around because when Ishmael gets the crown and becomes, the devil, a legion of the undead comes up on Earth, and his uncle and mother are fighting them very terribly. And he has the scene where he tries to rouse the other neighbors who are not on his street, just all over here. And that speech is caca. It's so...
Oh, let's talk about that because...
it's flaccid.
Well, because then it's like, so this kid, which I thought was funny, they're throwing up this sign, which to me is like the... like Rockefeller Records hand symbol, but whatever. He throws up this sign, and then all the citizens of Conduct come together. They don't know for what. They just see like
And they
destruction.
go, and he leads them to the next street over.
He leads them to the next street over, and there are literal zombies walking. You mean to tell me these people are just like, let's go fight zombies?
Yeah.
I would have been like, if I even would have followed the group, once I saw zombies, I would have turned right around.
Oh, and there, the boy's apartment, where he lives with his mom, is obliterated.
Well, another funny thing about Black Adam is that he doesn't use doors. So every place he goes into, he just tears through the wall. But then there's a point where Dr. Fate says, like, did they not have doors 5,000 years ago? And he goes, yeah, that's how we got into rooms. And then he says, I'm being sarcastic. But then it's like, no, but for real though, why do you keep tearing up all these buildings? Like, what?
Yeah, isn't the city you're supposed to protect, including its infrastructure?
Okay. Another thing I don't understand about these movies where they bring together, like, the Avengers, whatever.
Defenders, Avengers.
Why do they always bring on people who aren't trained? Like,
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
because even the X-Men movies, when they bring on these students to go do these missions, and they have zero training. So in this movie, it's Cyclone and Atom Smasher.
Cyclone's real name is Maxine Hunkel, played by Quintessa Swindell of Paul Schrader's Master Gardener.
Okay. She seems more adept. Like, she seems to kind of know what's going on. But Atom Smasher is just like, he's the nephew of Henry Winkler's character, I guess, was in another movie. I didn't know that. As Atom Smasher Part 1.
Borrowing his uncle's costume.
But anyway, he doesn't know what he's doing. So he's literally... Atom Smasher's power is that he can get really big. So he's out here just tearing shit up, and he keeps saying like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to. Why do they do that?
I don't know. It's so annoying because they have nothing to do. They have no effect on what's going on, literally.
Cyclone is so beautiful.
Yes.
She is gorgeous. She has this red, big, curly hair, and then the effect of her like controlling the wind, but it serves no purpose. Literally, her first time out in battle, she's trying to secure Black Adam. And she has seen this man literally move buildings. And she does this big thing with the Cyclone. And all it amounts to is her putting these like metal sticks around him.
It's like, that is not going to do
That's
anything.
like a toothpick to him. It's just so, like, it looked super cool, but it was so, like, this lady is doing nothing.
And then they're kind of giving her some sexual tension, I think, with the Atom Smasher character, which is terrible.
Well,
and you get this throwaway line about her origins because she has aerokinesis.
Which she basically says, like, she was kidnapped and basically, like, raped to have these powers.
Yeah.
I do think those two characters are cute together, but it just feels weird because the tone of, like, these enslaved people who need a hero combined with these weird, silly jokes with... And then the mom, Adrianna, whatever her name is, she has a brother, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he's like the comedic relief.
The electrician that gets shot in the gut. It is very violent as well.
It is quite violent.
Like these PG-13 movies where it's okay to show all this like violence and death, but it's okay for kids to watch that. It just continually drives me crazy.
I just thought the tone was like it's so weird that we go from very dark subject matter to like light, whatever.
Well, yeah,
there's a point where
it's like X-Men where they visit Auschwitz and Olivia, what's her name, is in a bathing suit basically.
Then we have. There's one point in an action sequence where we have a Kanye West song. I thought that was an interesting choice. Like they might want to change
The soundtrack's
that.
interesting again because I thought that we were going to be set in the '90s with the Smashing Pumpkins song opening it.
I don't know the Hawk guy, whatever his name is, but
Poor Aldis Hodge.
like that's a weird like his little costume, and then the plane he's flying, the symbol on his chair. I thought like he was a Thundercat. Is Thundercat part of DC?
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, I did think Sabbac, like the devil creature, he was very attractive. Because the man who took the crown was not. But then when he turns into the devil...
Oh, Marwan Kenzari. I think it was his hair, but you've seen him in the Old Guard, and he played Jafar in Aladdin, and
Well, in this movie...
In this film, he
does not look that great. But when he turns to the devil, I thought he was quite handsome. That's all I have, actually. I'm sure people will love it. I
wanted to say, like, Aldis Hodge, that's the definition of a Baxter character.
What does that mean?
The second male lead who has nothing to do. Like, he's so ineffectual at every turn. You almost just want to be like, you just need to clock out.
Yeah, he's just so flat and serious and...
Because he's fated to die, according to a vision Dr. Fate has, and then at the last minute, Pierce Brosnan. I didn't mind Pierce Brosnan.
I like Pierce Brosnan.
I thought Pierce Brosnan looked really good in this film.
He does look really good.
But he's like, I found an alternate plan and I'll sacrifice myself, and he locks him out with his magic or whatever.
That moment did give me... I got a little emotional because Pierce Brosnan, Dr. Fate and Hawkman, they seem to be good friends. So it was effective in that regard. That he sacrificed himself for his friend. And then he talks about like, I don't see the future anymore, and it feels really good.
I knew that would appeal to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but when Dr. Fate dies and that guard goes, the field goes away that's blocking Hawkman from moving forward. He has wings that we see a lot, and he's like runs up the stairs. Like, why?
There's a lot of stuff where it's like you have these powers, and then you choose to take the hard way. But whatever. I did want to say we watched a screening with a very interesting crowd. And
that's a euphemism, but yes.
I'm not accustomed to these sort of scenarios, but it seemed like people were laughing at the movie, like because they thought it was stupid. And we heard people say like that they liked the movie, like they liked that it was badass, but that they also thought the story was stupid. Mm-hmm. And so I would agree. I think Dwayne Johnson's a badass. There's a lot of good action. Would I watch this movie again? Probably.
I mean, he's a diamond in the rough in the Fast and Furious films, which I find difficult to sit through. But again, it's like he comes out kind of unscathed a bit. Like as in no ill will. I thought his performance is fine. He gets some funny lines.
He's a movie star through and through, and I do enjoy him, and I would rewatch this movie.
Oh, did you look up? We forgot to look up his name when he was a wrestler. Was it the People's Champion?
Oh yeah, because the name. So we don't hear Black Adam said until the post credits when Viola says, "Hey, Black Adam." So we don't ever. So that's the first time we hear it But they're not calling him Black Adam. They're calling him Teth-Adam, but the people call him the champion. And then I thought, I'm sure people will light me up in the comments, but I thought The Rock, the wrestler, wasn't he called the people's champion?
I don't know. I thought you were going to look that up.
Oh, I didn't. Someone will correct me.
My question is, why it got to be Adam?
Oh, we should end on that. What would you give this movie?
2.
I would give it 2.5 out of 5. Anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.